Kyle here from All Media Reviews. I'm going to do now in the vinyl collection videos the second half of the G's. Hopefully this will go relatively quickly. So, alright, so I'm not sure the order of these. So I have only a few Gentle Giant records. Gentle Giant's a band that I've always wanted to like more, but they're a really big influence, or at least Kevin Gilbert was a very big fan of them, and Box Beard, a lot of bands are. I just, they're good, but they're not... I don't know, and part of it's I haven't maybe spent enough time with them. I mean, I've heard several of their albums. I have some of them on CD. So anyway, I have a copy of Octopus. I don't know if this is the U.S. cover, and there's a different cover. I know there are two different covers. Anyway, Octopus from Gentle Giant from, it was 72, I think. Anyway. So then I have, let's see here. This is like this official live Gentle Giant, and it's from 77. I mean, freehand they do on this. Sweet Georgia Brown, of course. That's one of the tracks they used to do. Excerpts from Octopus. It's a double live album. Let's see the track list. And then I have this. I would constantly see this at Half Price, and I just decided to pick it up. It's BB Presents Gentle Giant. And this is from 2012. Germany 71, so this is earlier than probably even Octopus. I have the first album on CD, I believe. That was the first Gentle Giant album I bought. And then I have, okay, so, again, these aren't really in full order. I have a copy of The Power and the Glory, and my friend Creighton, this is the one he always praised. He played something from this on the radio. Again, I'm not an aficionado of Gentle Giant history. I know, they have Freehand and Glass House. You see their records, Three Friends, and I mean, someday I might become a bigger Gentle Giant. I kind of owe it to myself, given their impact and the connection with Kevin Gilbert, among other reasons, and Spock's Beard and Echo Lynn. There's a lot of bands that Gentle Giant really made an impact on, but this is my copy of The Power and the Glory. So that's my Gentle Giant collection. So, okay, I've got one. Yep. I have David Gilmour's, I think this is his second solo album, About Faced. This came out in 84, I think. Yeah. And as I've never listened to it. Bob Ezrin produced it. It was after the wall, after the final cut, basically during that whole split. Some people have said this is very much like a Pink Floyd, like a continuation of the Pink Floyd stuff they were doing, or I don't know. I like On an Island, the album that came out in 2006. It sounds like a sequel to The Division Bell. But I haven't spent that much time with his solo work, so then I've got, this is Jimmy Necco of Ours, of course. His only really official solo album, The Heart, that came out in vinyl. Of course, he released a version of it the next year. This came out in 2010. He released a version of it the next year that was with a different track list with a band. It was more electric. This is more acoustic. But, that's a little difference between Ours. It's got some of the songs that he played live for, like Darling, Light on the Grave, Reprise. The title track, Bring You Home, Light on the Grave, of course. But it's more singer-songwriter. I mean, I like the X edition more that came out the year after. It had some other songs on it, but still a good record, and I love Ours, and I love Jimmy Necco as a singer and as a songwriter, and as a musician. So, okay. Let's see here. Now, here's one of my favorite jazz records ever. My favorite records ever, actually. This is Like Children from Jerry Goodman and Jan Hammer, which came out in 1974. Unbelievably, well-produced, well-crafted songs. Country and Eastern music is a fantastic, bass-led part. The Mahavishnu Orchestra basically had broken up, but these two guys, Jerry Goodman and Jan Hammer, decided we want to write a record. Like the artwork, there's the back. They do some singing. The singing's pretty good. All these songs, Stepping Tones, Full Moon Boogie, I Wonder. Some of these Mahavishnu Orchestra did on Between Nothingness and Eternity and ended up on the Lost Trident sessions. I still lean toward these, despite the fact John McLaughlin's not on this. This, to me, is an absolute stone-cold classic. Jazz fusion, jazz rock classic. I absolutely love this record. My friend played the whole thing on, or most of it on the KFAI, and I was just like, what the hell is this? It's terrific. I know the guitar work is not done, but it's done by I think mostly Jerry Goodman, but I love it. And John Hammer's fantastic on this too. So let's see here. Here's my next one. Godspeed You Black Emperor, the Lift Up Your Skinny Fist like Antennas to Heaven. I like a lot of Godspeed You Black Emperor albums. Of course, post-rock from Canada, epic, no vocals, all like sound like samples and stuff, and guitar crescendos, tremolo picking, and all that stuff. This is 4 pieces. Storm is probably my favorite part of it, but it's really like an experience listening to the whole thing at once. It's a little bit like Tales from Topographic Oceans or the third from Soft Machine. It's 4 big pieces of different kind of varieties, but it flows really well together, and this is their masterpiece from 2000. They have a few other records I enjoy, though. I mean, I probably should get them on vinyl, but this was the one to get first. I would see it frequently, and I only paid $17 for it, so, you know, it's pretty affordable. So, all right. Oh, I forgot, because Jerry Goodman, I have Jerry Goodman's On the Future. I forgot to include that in the Jerry Goodman section. This is a solo album from Jerry Goodman that came out in 1985, so it was like a decade after Like Children, and he was with Dixie Dregs at one point. Ma Fishman had broken up. He's played with a number of different groups and collaborations, but Paul Wertigo was on drums on this, though, and this is 85, like right at the period I loved the work that Paul Wertigo was doing. Paul Wertigo is like my favorite drummer. Billy Cobham and Paul Wertigo, if I chose 2 drummers, those would be the 2 drummers. But yeah, Jerry Goodman's, and I've never listened to this, On the Future of Aviation. So if Paul Wertigo's work is anything like the stuff he did with Pat Metheny, and you got Jerry Goodman, I owe it to myself to listen to this more. So all right, so moving on, I have 2 albums, 2 releases, 2 records from this artist. It's gospel, my album of the year from 2022 last year. Is it my album of the year now from 2022? I will find out eventually. But this is The Loser, the comeback album, and then of course this is the EP that's sort of accompanying it. It's a long title, but it officially or unofficially, I don't even know. It's okay. Let's see if I can read this. My game? No, I mean. Here, it's on the front. It's not on the front. Is it even in the side? It's a long title. It's one 20-some-odd minute piece. It's like Impossible or something like that. And I'll open it up quickly because I'm trying to show this stuff. I showed it when I got it last year. Gospel, what are you doing? Why are you making things so difficult for us? It's impossible to read your record and everything like that. I mean, you can see the record itself has a lot of words on it, but they're like backwards. It's got like 10 words or 15 words in it. Anyway, this is the 20-minute extra song. They didn't make the Loser when it came out last year, as they wanted to release it separately, or just it would prevent it from being a double. And I actually think, as much as I like this piece, there's more keyboards, more like psychedelic sections that they jam out a bit. It would have hurt the flow of this record, because I love The Loser, between Hyper, and the one that they had for years. I can't even read the writing on this. But anyway, that's Gospel's Losers, and the EP, the mini album or EP they released. It's like one track. It's like 20 minutes from. Is it on there? Morphous? No. Is it on there? I should know this. Again, it was last year when I included this, and you have to copy and paste because it's like 10 words. Anyway, let's move on. So I've got one record from this artist. I pronounce his name Gautier or Gautier. This is the album that this is Like Drawing Blood, which I think this is the album that preceded the album that got him big. With the Kimbra album. Kimbra song with Kimbra, somebody that I used to know. But it has a lot of good tracks on it. He is influenced by Dream Theater and King's X. He's a drummer, but then he's also a singer. He's in a band called The Basics too. But this album came out like 2000. Was it 2003? 2013. Well, the pressing was 2013. I think the release of this record, because this is the one that preceded that record. I think there's one song on here. He's talking about how there's like samples where someone's calling up on a call center line. It's like, I don't know, I just work here. I don't know, I just work here. There's a lot of like textured samples. I mean, it's pop rock. I mean, everybody knows somebody I used to know, but a lot of his music is not like that. But this is more progressive to me than that album with Kimbra, even though there's some progressive elements. But anyway, this is like Drawing Blood. I believe this was 2006, but, you know, don't quote me on that. Alright, so moving on, I have one album from, well, see, we had 2 records under this person's name, and I don't have the other one here, so it's probably under the other person's name. Well, this is violinist Stefan Grappelli, and this might be part of that whole thing that we got from Down the Valley back in 2003. This is his album. This is like a self-titled album. It might be a self-titled album from maybe live '73. And he did a lot of standards and his own stuff. But anyway, yeah, Stefan Grappelli, maestro. Like, you know, he influenced someone like John Lupani, a lot of violinists that went into jazz. But I think this is a live recording. But I'll have to do some research on that. You know, a lot of my records have been in storage and everything, you can see. But anyway, Stefan Grappelli, a self-titled Stefan Grappelli record from 1973. So this is the one Grateful Dead album that I have. This is some kind of promo, it looks like. This is Terrapin Station, when Grateful Dead were really doing prog. There's the Terrapin Station Suite, is what it was. This came out in like 77? Yep. It's terrific. A guy that I traded bootlegs with gave me a copy that he dubbed a copy from this. It's like, this is the Grateful Dead. I mean, I knew some of the Grateful Dead songs, like, you know, Touch of Grey and Uncle John's Band, but, you know, this is way better to me. The production on it is really pristine, and it's just, it's very, the instrumentation and orchestration is terrific. It's not jam band music in the traditional sense. It's really them doing prog of a sort in 77. So that's Terrapin Station. So no, I showed this, I don't know, it was about like a month ago when I bought this on Discogs, a month and a half ago. This is the epic masterpiece, the 1 hour song from Green Carnation, 2001. I think this came out 2001. Light of Day, Day of Darkness from Green Carnation, the prog metal, you know, stalwarts. Yeah, this is, I never get sick of this. It works, it flows so well. You think for an hour it wouldn't, but it's doom metal, prog metal, post metal, a little black metal, but it's mostly just really good progressive melodic textures and just different parts of it. You know, the dynamics are terrific, and it's well recorded and it's just well composed. You don't think they could do it for an hour, but like I said, I don't know how they pulled it off, but they did. So here's the last G. This is Griffin, of course. All my friends that we would go to Nearfest, they would rave about Griffin. I don't know if Griffin ever played at Nearfest. They probably did, but or any of the prog festival. But this is Red Queen to Griffin 3. You'd see this is the most well-known. Griffin being an instrumental band for the most part, from the UK, I believe. You know, yeah, this is from '74. It's great. It's, you know, a lot of like piccolo, or, you know, you can see the guys, you know. It's prog. It's instrumental prog. It's kind of, to me, it reminds me of the Canterbury stuff. I don't know if it is Canterbury. It's not Canterbury, but it reminds me of the Canterbury sound in some ways. So, anyway, that's it for the G's. Please subscribe, unsubscribe. Thank you for watching. If you subscribed recently, thank you for that. Again, I'm hopefully going to be showing up on the stream on Sunday with Scott from the Prog Corner, and we'll talk prog and everything else when it's like 98 degrees outside here in the Twin Cities. But thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.